Hey, what's going on, folks? It's your favorite uncle, cousin Tyrone Gregory, the self-employed tax guy, just here to remind you why running those numbers are so important. I know y'all hear me say it all the time. Run me those numbers. Run the numbers. Make sure you run the numbers. Make sure it makes financial sense. And the reason I say that so often, and the reason I'm so passionate about it, and you hear me just trying to really shove it all up in your brains, is because I don't want you to get robbed, right? I don't want nobody to take advantage of you. I don't want you to lose anything unnecessarily, right? I want you to win at all costs and stay winning, right? Get the bag, keep the bag, right? Don't just get it and lose it. That's not the point. And I'm going to share this clip with you, man. I found this clip online with 50, Curtis Jackson, the artist, right? 50 Cent. It's really breaking down how things are in the business world, right? Like on the streets is one thing, but in the business, it's worse, right? Like when you're in the business game, it's a lot more sharks and vultures and wolves in there, and they will really get you if you don't run them numbers. So let's check out this clip.
There's more ruthless people in the business world than in the street. You know, like they just have subtleties to their tactics. How they do things is more,
suit and tie.
Yeah, it's not confrontational. It's just, but they're doing it right in front of you. You know, how they're structuring the actual deal and things that they're doing. It's like taking the money for you. Look, robbery, at least it will give you the courtesy of showing you the gun, so you can have those anxieties and feel those feelings that you would feel when you're being robbed. They'll do it on a piece of paper where you feel nothing, and just rob you right there.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's the same tactics with a different approach.
Wow. You heard that? He touched on like maybe 5 things within that clip, right? The first thing I want to focus on when he said in the clip is the fact that there are more ruthless people in the business world than there are on the streets. Right now, here's a man who 50 Cent who comes from the streets, obviously, and so he knows the type of raw element there are in the streets. You know, and we see it sensationalized in the media, the news all day long, how bad the streets are. And then he says, now that I'm here in this element, now that I'm here in this world, I'm in the business world, there are more ruthless people here than there are in the streets. I found that to be amazing, but I also find it to be true. You know, I ain't 50 years in the business world. I ain't up there making multi-million deals, making power TV shows and connected with stars and all that. I ain't doing that. I ain't there. But I've seen firsthand just how sly, slick, and wicked people can be in the business world, right? Because they want your money, they're going to get it by any means necessary. And so that's one of the first things that clip focused on. And I want you to keep that in mind when you're entering into this business world. Run them numbers, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day is the money. If you ain't running them numbers, if you don't know what you sign, you know what you're getting into, that's how they rob you, which is, like he said, how they do it, right? Because the second thing that he touched on, he says that their tactics are a lot more subtle. Right now, that right there is really what I want you to pay attention to, right? That the subtleties of the raw, vicious tactics of the individuals in the business world is not as aggressive and ugly as the streets. It's very subtle. The tones are nice. The tones are smooth. The tones are calming. The tones of the business world are inviting. Trust me, I have your back. Trust me, I have your best interest in mind. It's like, being robbed by Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell, cute little fairy, come up to you, and then all of a sudden she pulls out a knife and says, "Give me everything you got," right? Or, was it a cartoon or a commercial or something I saw with the gummy bears? They're nice on one side and then sour. And I think that was a candy commercial. Yeah, but you've seen it, right? Think about, but still the fact is, he said that in the business world, they're subtle, nice. So keep that in mind, because yes, although they may seem like they have your best interest in mind, maybe not. And then the third thing he says in the video, he says that they are doing it right in front of you. That one is the thing that scares me the most, right? Like, normally sometime on the streets, again, because we're making a comparison, the business world to the streets. In the streets, you don't really see it coming a lot of times. Like, a lot of things that sneak up on you, sneak attacks, things that's done in the dark. In the business world, it's wide open. It's in your face. They're doing it right in front of you. There is no hiding, because it kind of goes back to the second point because everything is so subtle. There's no need to conceal anything. And that's the worst part. Like, that says that they know that you aren't intelligent enough to stop them from doing what they're doing, because they're going to do it right in front of you, right there. Because that's how they feel about you. Like, we ain't got to worry about this person. We gonna take their money right from them, in front of their eyes, in front of their faces, without them even knowing. That's terrible. Which brings the next point that he said, not even a point I will say, but I guess I'm gonna put it as a point, where he says, at least in a robbery, they'll give you the courtesy of showing you the gun. So now he's making a comparison to the wolves on Wall Street, to the regular individual on the street that's robbing you with a gun, right? Just to show you just how scandalous it is. He said, because at least in a robbery, they gonna show you the gun, and they gonna be aggressive. Hey, give me your money. Give me your money. Whoa. You see the gun, and you like, oh, something has happened, right? Your body, the fear response is kicked in, right? You have anxieties, you're doing whatever. You are aware that there is something that is not right happening in that very moment. At least that's a courtesy in a robbery. But in the business world, while they're robbing you, you won't even know. Like he said, they're going to slide that paperwork right there for you. The subtleties. You're being robbed and don't even know it. Right? Which the last point that he makes in that small video is the fact that, yes, they'll do it on a piece of paper where you feel nothing. That's what he said. You can go back and look at the clip. He said they'll do it on a piece of paper where you will feel nothing. Compared to the robbery, at least they give you the courtesy of showing you the gun, because that way you'll feel something. You'll know something isn't right. But in the business world, they're going to do it on a piece of paper where you feel nothing. And let me kind of throw this in here. I'm going to tell you what that paper is where you're getting robbed, in my opinion. These LLC contracts. You need an LLC to start your business. Get one. Your business isn't legitimate without it. Right? The subtle voices, right? The whole mindset of, I got your back. I want to see you succeed. I want to make sure that you're good. Get this LLC. Here, sign the paperwork to get your LLC. Did you feel anything with that? No, you probably felt good signing it, thinking something was going on. Next thing you know, you got this LLC for years, and yet you don't have a business. Then they do it again. Oh, Maybe you need multiple LLCs. Here, get one structured as an S-Corp. Get, put another one inside of a trust and get a regular C corporation and have that one own this one. Just sign all of this paperwork. Yeah, and then pay me whatever the fees are that needs to be paid. Yeah, and you do that so willingly because it was so subtle, because it was so trustworthy, because they didn't put a gun in your face. And now you have all these LLCs, S-Corp, C-Corps, trust, and everybody's working for you, and you have all of this, but yet you still don't have a business. Yeah, let that sink in. Love you.
Perfect.